Today's video, we're just going to make a couple of small parts. Quick one. Every business has got one, it seems like. So young engineer sent me two models of parts and verbally said, hey, can you make these things? And I said, yeah, I can make them. And now today we're getting down to making them, and I don't have drawings. So I don't know what material, I don't know what tolerance. I don't know anything about these other than the model. So, you know, if your business doesn't have one of these guys, be careful. You might be that guy. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and make these things, and you're just going to get aluminum. And I kind of know what it's for. It's just aluminum manifold, basically, or it's just an air manifold. So aluminum should be fine. So yeah, I've saw cut some pieces out. So I've saw cut these pieces out, and you know, they're big, and I've made some drawings off of his models, just so I have some numbers, know what the heck we're trying to do with these holes. And this is a real simple part. So we're just going to bust these out on the Bridgport. All right, I got my stock. I've got a single parallel. Sorry. Drawings. I think what we're going to do is to square up the stock, bring it to size, just kind of put both pieces in the vise, and yeah, we'll go ahead and stick an end mill in. I think we'll use this guy. Speed up a bit. Funnel feed's awesome. We're about 14 down, it's a half-inch corner round now, and I think these guys. Okay, now what we can do is flip and bring it to size. I do kind of like to kind of take the edge off that. These are hardened jaws, but if you use kind of softer jaws, like on my orange, I use an aluminum jaw that came with it. That little edge that you leave right there can kind of damage the face of that jaw. All right, so hold that down like that. Take some more passes. But we're going to have to come up a little bit. Just came up like 5 thou, and I'm not even using the DRO yet. Okay, loosen the vise. See where we're at. Drawing says that I want 1.2, and this looks like it's yeah, just a shade under 1.25 inches. So I got to take 49.5 thou off. So we'll put this part back in the same way it came out. Tighten that back down. Alright, I managed to dial in 49 thou, and we're pulling a cut right there. Funny thing is, on my Z, I've got two ways to achieve that with this particular DRO, and one is that scale down there moving the entire knee, and then the other is this scale right here, which I can move with the quill. Problem is I've only got 3 readouts, so what I have to do is actually come in the back side and change one of those cables. Okay, we got our cut done, and like I said, 49 is what I set it for, and what we ended up with, we're about 1 thou big, so that's just fine for what this is, no problem. So we're going to run that. Okay, I've gone ahead and changed the end mill. Now I've got a 3/8, a little bit longer 2 flute in there, and I'm going to go ahead and set this up to do, I got to raise the table, I'm going to set this up to do all the end work. So we're going to make 1 pass on each piece, and then we're going to flip it and bring it to size. I'll just go ahead and show this real time. This piece is quite crooked. Still haven't cleaned that piece up. That's pretty good. Speed this up a little bit smaller window. Alright. So that guy is good on the end. Now we'll do the long one. Put a cleanup pass. Okay, good. Now we're going to bring this one to size. So what I'll do is make a cut. Take a measurement. Set X to 0. This piece shows it's got to be 3.5. We are at 3.536. So let's take 36 thou off this end. On to 0, and then 36 thou. Pull that guy out. Let's see where we're at. We are at 3.5015. That's just fine for what this piece is. Of course, my engineer didn't give me any tolerances, so I know what it's for. This will be just fine. Now what we'll do is bring the other piece to length. Same process. A little bit more. Zero off that. Take a measurement. Drawing says this piece has to be 2 inches long. And we are at 1.998. So we're 2 thou shy on this piece. That's going to be just fine. I'm not going to cut another part for that. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, since I have to drill holes in both pieces and the holes are very similar, I'm going to go ahead and set a stop up. And I use this type of jaw that has a slot in it. That allows me to put one of these quick little stops in here. We'll just put it about right there. Call that a day. Now we'll take the first part, stick him in, butt him up against the stop, tighten the vise down, and we got to get this parallel out of here so we can drill the holes. And the next thing we're going to do is edge find, and those edges will remain consistent throughout all the work that I do. From here forward. So let's put gotta move you over a bit. Put a nice Jacob's chuck in, little edge finder, and we know, that our edge finder is off by about 1 thou. We'll come down on the table. The Jacob's chuck's a bit taller. That's enough clearance. Get that speed about 1,900 or so. And boom, there it is. So now I'll go ahead and set that on the Y as 0. Move in 100 thou. Set that as 0. Come up about 3/8 or so, middle of the part. This is 3/4 inch thick. And boom, right there. Set X as 0. Come in 100 thou. Boom, there's our edge. Now we can go ahead and use this information here to set up our drills for all of this work right here. All right, you can see I got my number 7 drill in here. I'm set at 1/4 inch in on the X and 3/8 of an inch, half of 3/4, or yeah, it's a 3/4 inch piece, so half of that in. That's the center line for my holes. And then here you can see that I've got taper tap, and then I'll finish it up by hand with a bottoming tap. Run it right down to the bottom of the hole. Apologize for the air conditioner. So what I like to do is just, you can see my VRO is reading off of that scale. I like to just touch down on the work, zero it, and then I can run it to the depth indicated on the drawing, which is 650 thou. So away we go. And then the next hole is at 1 3/4. Just like that. There's some chips over there. I think what we're going to do is just go ahead, change this guy out. I'm going to set him just like he was in there. And put, we need parallel. Put this guy in. And take the parallel out for safety. Switch my drawing sheet. And here I can see my first hole is at 1/4 inch. We're going to go ahead and use a little oil to free that up. Same depth. Next hole, 3.25. Now we can go ahead and switch to our taper tap. I just put it in by hand. I call it my clutch so I don't snap taps. And then what we're going to do, I've switched it to low range, and then what we're going to do is just feed the thing slowly into the part, back it out. Back to 1/4. Close enough. Yep, wrong way. In and out, don't want to break a tap. Set that guy just like he was in there. Well, we know we're not going to hit that, so take it out anyways. Safety. Low speed. And then we move back to the other one, which was 1 3/4. Close enough. All right. Now the next thing we have to do is drill for this 1/4 inch NPT. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is we can see on the drawing here, we've got to do this pipe tap. And it's a 1/4 NPT, so it takes a 7/16 drill, and that's through. We can see on the side view here it's through. So we're gonna drill through. We're gonna tap one side, flip it, tap the other side. I've already got my DRO. I've got the table set at 1 inch, which is the middle of this 2-inch block. So I've got a spot drill, I've got my 7/16, and I've got the tap. So we'll go over that. Let's go high speed. A real nice spot in there. I'm going to go ahead and chuck key that guy down. This is going to be much slower speed. Maybe not that slow. It's a brand new drill, so I'm just going to give it a squeeze of a little bit of lubricant. Parallel is out of there. Okay, that's through. Now, will not fit in my chuck. So what we'll do, get a collet it will fit in, right there. Hammer that in pretty good. Now we're going to need to raise this table up. It's nothing worse than starting a tap and then running out of travel on your quill. You can see that's still not enough. Get my feed stop out of the way. It's still not enough, so we'll come up another inch or so. That's got the space. All right. What I typically like to do is I like to turn these guys about 8 turns, sometimes 9, depending on what I'm after. So what I'm going to do is, make sure there's no oils on that, I'm going to make a big mark. This is just a dry erase board marker, so that'll wipe right off. Then I can count my turns. Okay. Slow speed, low range. This one we're going to slow down so we can count the turns. This is a pretty old tap. Get some good oil on there. And get ready to switch speeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. Tap is not turning. So here we're just going to have to do it by hand. Or at least the harder way. Kind of wish I had a better tap. That's what we got. Some of the Craftsman set. It's just not very nice. We're going to need slow speed on that. We got a few turns into that one. And down to 1 inch. Just about out of order here. This guy goes in. Flip that guy around. Matches up perfect. You know, this one we may be able to, let's try, see if it'll go 8 turns in. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got about 6 turns before she started slipping. Now, of course, there are collets designed to drive taps, and they won't slip. They have a square that matches up. Just didn't have those here when I started, and I haven't bought them. I don't do enough big holes like this to justify it. I do a lot of small stuff. That one stopped significantly earlier because we just didn't put any oil on it. All right, now what we'll do is put a tap handle on this and bring these down to where they need to be. All right, I got a fresh bottle of oil, and I've got this fitting right here to test for the depth of engagement of my thread. You can see it just barely starts there, so we need to take this down deeper. Good amount of oil. Put our tap handle on. Somewhere. There it is. And you can feel it engage. Boy, that's a bad, bad tap. I kind of want it to engage by about 1/3 freely by hand. That gives me enough shoulder remaining so that it'll tighten down properly. Between 1/3 and 1/2. I love it. That's going to work great. So now I just got to complete that on the rest of all these holes. All right, I've got all the holes tapped to give me good engagement on the threads. And what that does is, you know, it's a tapered thread, so the further down it draws in, the more contact, the tighter the contact area gets, and the better it seals. So like I said, I like to shoot for a third to about a half of the engagement of an actual machined, known NPT fitting. Now, got a little chamfer mill in there, and what we can do is just kiss that, take that burr off the top, nice slow, and that's pretty much it right there. Part's symmetrical, so in theory I should be able to do this. I don't know if I liked how it worked out. So yeah, now all we have to do is go ahead and run the bottoming tap on these 1/4-20s. Okay, and we'll just to go ahead and finish this off. I got a drill with another chamfer tool in it, and we're just going to hit the small threaded holes, 1/4-20s. Take that little burr that tapping creates off of there. Could have done this before. It's probably the more preferred method. This works just fine as well. Alright, so that part is good. We're going to go ahead and make sure I don't have any sharp edges anywhere. We're going to clean it up probably on a Scotch-Brite pad and then wash it, and we'll be done. Well, there it is. Like I said, I put a chamfer on these guys after I ran the 1/4-20 tap down full depth, and then Scotch-Brite, hit them on the Scotch-Brite pad lightly and washed them, and yeah, here they are. Turned out pretty darn nice anyways. If I can get this thing to focus for you guys. Yeah. So it's like even filming, which slows you down a little bit, it was 20 minutes in and out. Starting with a chunk of raw material, ran it through the bandsaw on the fence, so I got it pretty darn close. And then yeah, square up the ends. Already had a piece of 3/4 thick, so I didn't have to finish this side, just hit it with the Scotch-Brite, and it's nice enough for where this is going. And yeah, it's not bad work for 20 minutes in and out. So like I said, the next project is to get rid of the DRO, which is failing me. New one came in today. Should be a fun project. Going to put a new DRO, $4,000 worth of DRO on my Series 1 Bridgeport. So stick around and check that video out, and we'll keep moving.